Today we are making blood sausages. In Slovenian we call them Krvavice. This dish is generally enjoyed during Koline. Koline is an old tradition that is deeply rooted in our Slovenian culture. It involves slaughtering a pig and the important practice of utilizing the entire pig, which demonstrates respect for the animal. It brings family and people together to work and share with each other before enjoying the fruits of their labor. This is Aitek's recipe, my stariata, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Are you ready? Let's get started. We begin by making a large pot of pork broth. In a large pot, we're going to be adding in our pork shoulder with bones, our vegetables, and then we're going to let it simmer for about 1 to 2 hours. In the meantime, we're going to dice up our onions and we're also going to mince our garlic. To the garlic, we're going to be adding some oil, just enough to make it juicy and it's not dry. And then we're going to place saran wrap over top of it and set it aside. Now we're just going to saute our onions, and once that's all done, we're going to set it aside. Before we cook our barley, our hulled millet, and buckwheat, we want to make sure that we give everything a really good rinse. We want to rinse it about 2 or 3 times until the water runs clear. We're going to be using the pork broth to cook all of these in, and you must reserve 3 to 4 cups of pork broth for the Krvavice mixture. And once the broth is cooled down, we're going to remove the meat and we're going to add all of the meat off of the bone into a separate bowl because we're going to be grinding this in our food grinder. We use a KitchenAid stand mixer attachment. It's the coarse grind plate that we use. You will need to make 5 cups of ground pork. Once that's done, we refrigerate and move on to the next step, where we're going to be grinding our pork crackling. You will find this recipe and many others on my blog, www.sloveniankitchen.com. Now we're on to make the mixture, and we're going to need a large bin for this. To the bin, we're going to be adding in our cooked barley, the hulled millet, buckwheat porridge, some long grain rice, and then our pork shoulder, pork crackling, minced garlic and oil, the sauteed onions, and then the melted lard. We're going to be adding in all of our spices as well. We're going to mix it until it's well combined, and we want to taste it before we add the blood. And at this time, if you need to, you can add more spices if you desire to your taste. And then finally, we're going to be adding in the pork blood and enough pork broth to just make it juicy. We don't want a dry mixture. And start by adding only 1 cup of broth at a time. We want to mix and stir until well combined, until the blood is evenly absorbed. Before we stuff our sausages, we need to make sure that we wash and rinse the casings. Make sure the insides are cleaned really well. Now we're going to gently pull the pork intestine over the front of the sausage stuffer. Now we're going to fill the stuffer with a mixture, and we're going to begin gently filling the intestine with a very slow, careful motion until the intestine is filled about 12 to 15 centimeters. We're going to squeeze the sausage with our fingers to allow any air to escape. Spin and twist the sausages, making links. We usually make 2 links together, and then we secure with a toothpick. Then we cut both ends of the toothpick just to ensure that when they're cooking in the water, they're not going to pop while rubbing against each other. We're going to place the sausages in salted boiled water. We're going to reduce to medium heat, and we're going to cook for about 12 to 15 minutes on a low simmer. Then we take them out of the water and then lay them flat until they cool. Time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We're going to place the Krvavice onto a greased baking tray. We're going to prick the Krvavice with a toothpick several times on top. We're going to roast in a 300-degree oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we remove the Krvavice from the oven, flip them over to the other side, and then increase the temperature to 400. We're going to bake for an additional 10 minutes or longer until the skin is nice and crispy to your liking. Dober tek! If you enjoy watching my videos, please give me a great big thumbs up below. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss any new recipes. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next time when I share another delicious recipe from my Slovenian kitchen. Until then, na zdravje and dober tek. Adio!